Time to head to Cerulean Cave, but there are a few preparations I need to do before I go there. First, I need to heal my team, since unlike in some other generations, my team isn't healed after the credits rolled. I have to do it myself. I wonder why that's the case, but whatever. Now I'm going to head to a Pokémon Center because I got a few things to do. Most notably, I said I was going to fire Alakazam, so I'm going to do it now. Don't worry, I'm not going to release it. I'm just going to put it in the PC. And I'm going to put my HM Slave Krabby in its place because I'm going to surf in order to reach Mewtwo. And once that is done, I am also going to take out the Master Ball in order to catch Mewtwo. Now, I suppose with the luck I've had so far, I might want to use the Ultra Balls, but the thing is, Mewtwo's level 70, and it's got a special stat out of this world, so it could sweep my team in an instant if I'm not careful, and I think being careful is the last thing you got on your mind when trying to catch a Pokemon. And on top of that, my two sleepers are weak to Psychic, so I'm not even gonna try. I'm just going to chuck the Master Ball, and that is going to be the end of it. Besides, I get the feeling the Master Ball was made for Mewtwo, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Now, back to the Elite Four fights. I got to thinking, and you know those super potions and full restores that were used? Well, weren't they used second in the turn? I thought items always took priority over everything else, but the super potions actually went second. Oh, here's a Ditto. Now I'm gonna show you a little trick to get a lot of experience on your Ditto. First, I'm going to try not to kill it. What am I going to do? I'm going to go with Thunder Wave to paralyze it, because Ditto is so weak. I'm going to kill it or fully paralyzed. Oh well, I'm gonna take a chance and use Drill Peck. Hopefully that won't kill it. Woo! That was close. Alright, now it can transform. And now I'm going to get the experience I would have obtained by fighting a Zapdos. Let's see. 479? Well, I think that didn't work that way in the first generation then, because I know for sure that it works in later games. 479 experience for a Zapdos in its 50s, that's not right. But back to those items, that means that my opponents really were cheating. That's not supposed to happen. So not only are they Psychics, but they can actually do things you don't by having their items go second. Okay, now I'm in Cerulean Cave now, and the basic layout of that dungeon is, well, it's sort of like Mount Moon. There's one main path to, okay, here's another Ditto. Now I'm not even going to bother trying to get it to transform, because I know the trick doesn't work here. So it's just like Mount Moon. There's one main path that leads to Mewtwo, and there are a few side paths that lead into that maze that we just caught a glimpse of. And there are items in this maze, though not too much. There are a lot more dead ends than there are items, so yeah, you basically get the idea. It's really similar to Mount Moon, yet it's a lot more confusing at the same time. And something of note about this dungeon is that in yellow it looks completely different, and it does so in Fire Red and Leaf Green as well. So there exist 3 different forms of this dungeon depending on which game you play. Now, in Victory Road, I've given you a rundown of what to do in the Sevii Islands after beating Blaine, but after beating the Elite Four, you can return there, and there will be more things to do. And I'm going to give you a little recap of what those things are. And, okay, first, remember Mount Ember, the place where you get Moltres in Fire Red and Leaf Green? Well, now there are 2 rockets there, and you gotta fight them. Even though Team Rocket was supposedly disbanded, but we'll deal with that later. And you beat those rockets, and then you enter a series of caves that houses a ruby, which you need to give to Celio, who is Bill's friend, and he tells you that once you've got both the ruby and the sapphire, you'll be able to trade with ruby, sapphire, and emerald. Oh, and I forgot, in order to do that part, you need to have the National Pokédex, which is obtained by catching 60 Pokémon, and then you show your Pokédex to Oak, and then he gives you the National Pokédex, and then you can do those quests in the Sevii Islands. Otherwise, well, tough luck. And once you've obtained the ruby, the pass that was given to you the first time you... Wait, I'm back here? Oh well, at least it's not a very long way back to where I was before, but it's still rather easy to get lost in that maze, especially if the passageways that go from one ladder connect to the passageways that go to another, but now I'm speaking nonsense. So yeah, the pass that was given to you on your first visit to the Sevii Island will be upgraded, so you're going to be able to visit Isles 4 through 7. And first destination would of course be 4 Island, where you're going to go to an ice cave, and then Lorelei will be seen fighting off a few rockets. It's important to note that before you do this event, the Elite Four will be closed for business because Lorelei isn't there. She's on 4 Island. So yeah, you help her against Team Rocket, and after that, once that's done, Lorelei heads back to the Indigo Plateau, and you can face the round 2 of the Elite Four, the one with all the increased levels and new Pokemon. And for example, Agatha has a Crobat, a Miss Drevis, and stuff like that. Oh, and Blue also gets a Tyranitar. I hate to admit it, but he's got some taste to a certain extent. So after you're done on 4 Island, you want to go not to 5 Island, but to 6 Island, because the main attraction on 5 Island is the Rocket Warehouse, and it's not open quite yet. And anyway, you want to go to 6 Island because there's a ruin that has the Sapphire, but once you reach the Sapphire, you get it stolen from you by a rocket scientist who gives you one of the passwords required to enter the Rocket Warehouse on 5 Island, and you should also know the other password because you overheard it from the Rocket Grunts back at Mount Ember that you caught before getting the Ruby. So with both passwords, you can enter the Rocket Warehouse and face another tile maze of doom. I hate those so much, and it's a lot more complicated than those in Celadon as well, so I hope you enjoy those tile mazes because they can take quite a while to solve. Now I'm gonna take a little break to mention that doing this recap at the same time as I'm fighting those Pokemon is just a little harder than usual, because here you've got wild Pokemon that can actually put up a challenge. They're like in the 50s, and so am I, so it can be problematic since I don't destroy everything in one shot like I've done for the most part of this LP. Even so, I think I'm doing rather well, and wait, where am I now? I think I completely lost myself there. Okay, I think I've got an idea of where I am, but I didn't notice that stairway over to the left when I checked the Poké-Art. Okay, now, Hypno, this guy has got a lot of special, if I remember, so I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by Toxi-stalling Moltres. So I poisoned it with Toxic, and right now it's not taking a whole lot of damage, but if Fire Spin, no, it missed! But when I'm gonna have it connect, well, Meditate isn't going to help a whole lot, and here, Fire Spin connects, so now, let the stalling begin, and as you can see, it's constantly hurt by poison, and it cannot move at all. And yeah, Fire Spin does some damage, but that's not the main source of damage. It really is toxic. Okay, so that is going to be it for now. I'm going to continue the recap of the Sevii Islands next time.